The phone industry has appeared stale for a while, but this thing really changed my mind. The RoboPhone from ARRI, this is something else. You must be curious about this gimbal that flips out from a phone. And there's another surprise. ARRI has teamed up with the top camera brand ARRI. The brand is regarded the king of cinema cameras since most Oscar-winning movies were filmed with their products. So to best of my knowledge, I think ARRI has never landed their logos onto another phone brand. So I would imagine this collaboration is more than a marketing gimmick. One click on the ARRI Cinema icon and you enter a completely different new interface. With your phone now recording a different set of colors, it's in fact filming in ARRI camera's colors with their Log-C3 curve. So does this phone actually live up to the claim and produce an ARRI-like image, cinematic image? Let's make a side-by-side comparison with footage shot on our own ARRI Alexa camera, which is quite pricey. Can you tell which one is which? Alright, here's the answer. A footage is shot by an actual ARRI Alexa Mini, and B is filmed on the ARRI RoboPhone. Did you guess correctly? I think it's quite easy to guess it. Based on the colors alone, I think the phone's footage does look close enough to the cinema camera. The color is quite nice. ARRI's collaboration with ARRI goes pretty deep. In fact, I've been informed that ARRI cinema camera engineers have ported their entire color pipeline onto the RoboPhone. You can even find ARRI-tuned LUTs in its menu, and it can be used for monitoring or to be burned into the video. And the Log-C3 curve brings significant improvement to the texture of the image. It has far less artificial sharpening compared to the standard color profile, and thus it looks less digital. I think you will like it. Its color pipeline is indeed close to an ARRI camera. And to spot the difference between the phone and the real ARRI camera, you need to look at the depth of field and the highlight and the shadow details. That to be expected. After all, the RoboPhone only houses a phone-sized sensor, which is fundamentally different from an ARRI sensor. Its dynamic range is tested at around 12 to 13 usable stops, which is decent for a phone camera. When comparing to the iPhone and DJI Pocket, I'd say at a glance they are close enough in resolution. A closer look reveals more noise and sharpening in the RoboPhone's image though, whereas the iPhone and Pocket look slightly more natural. And while the RoboPhone supports log shooting for its main and telephoto cameras, which is impressive, you need to be very careful with exposure, or you will end up with unpleasant noise. When filmed at the right setting, its overall image quality is certainly good enough for viewing on a phone screen. It's quite nice. Now that we covered the professional features like the ARRI Log-C3 curve, let's turn our attention to this actual 3-axis gimbal. After all, the ability to produce stabilized image is the key to the user experience. And here's a hint, it's pretty cool to use, but with a little downside. As devices like the DJI Pocket gains popularity, people start to appreciate the inherent benefits of gimbal cameras. So ARRI's reasoning behind this device is pretty straightforward. They want to help users capture smoother footage than that of a regular phone. While this gimbal is a bit smaller than the Pockets, its motors are quite strong actually. Look at this image. Its stabilization performance is really surprised me. Whether you are walking or doing a light jog, it keeps the shots really steady. Do keep in mind that due to its smaller size, it does fall behind the Pocket when it comes to stabilizing the Z-axis. You can also notice sliding bobbing and weaving during walking shots, so I'd recommend switching on the super steady mode when you only need smooth movement in one axis. It works better that way. Also, the problem with gimbal hitting movement limit, which we mentioned in our Pocket and Luna Ultra reviews, is also found on the RoboPhone, so if you turn this way, you will hit the limit. Despite its wider range of motion compared to the Pocket, the smaller gimbal makes the camera unit more prone to hitting the limit in practice. It wouldn't affect daily use in most cases, but when filming selfie or tracking subject, the RoboPhone sometimes can't follow properly due to the range limit, not its tracking capabilities. So I really hope that in future, manufacturer can design a more effective gimbal mechanism to eliminate this issue. It's a little bit annoying. The gimbal's tendency of hitting that limit could raise questions on its robustness. You must be asking, is it likely to break when getting hit? Well, I'll do it for you just now. So yeah, I'll slap it. It looks like it's broken, but you just click, it goes back, and you click again, it goes back up and works just fine. So it's apparently sturdier than I expected. So if slapping won't break it, what about dropping it? So I'll just do it for you. I will drop it. And you will see the gimbal loses its power and there's a notification pops up. So on the design, an automatic gimbal protection mechanism that kicks in when detects a fall, disengaging the motor to reduce the damage. They've also designed this sliding cover. I like this one a lot. It's actually surprisingly satisfying to play with. It's like a fidget spinner. So as far as the overall safety is concerned, Honor sure has done their due diligence. What about the fingerprints on the camera lens? Well, you can slide the cover and wipe the lens, and in fact, unless you stick your finger and smudge the inside of this cover, the entire phone is pretty easy to keep clean. And to further benefit from this cover design, we have custom made a quick swap filter system for it. Just slide across like this, and you can instantly swap on an ND filter. It's pretty neat. If this phone gains traction in the market, I believe we will see more third-party makers come up with clever accessories built around this sliding cover in the future. So by now, you have probably realized that the gimbal design on the RoboPhone opens up a ton of creative possibilities that other phones just can't do it. It's a different experience from something like the Pocket or the Luna because it's fundamentally an all-in-one device. It saves you the weight of an extra camera and the hassle of file transferring. It captures good quality footage on its own. I think the most practical benefit for the RoboPhone is that you can turn the main camera around for selfies. So just like that, you can get really high quality selfies, like stabilized, clear footage. Though its main sensor size at 1/1.28 inch is slightly smaller than the flagship phones, and the focal lens at 23mm is not the best choice. It creates a much narrower field of view comparing to the Pocket's 20mm, which makes your face look bigger. You pretty much have to stretch your arm to fit all your friends in the frame, not to mention the Pocket has a wide-angle adapter, whereas the RoboPhone, there is no such option. You have to use a selfie stick to get a wide shot. And when shooting horizontal video with the gimbal, you only get to use this small frame in the middle of the screen for monitoring. Though it's bigger than the Pocket's monitor, it's still a waste of screen's real estate. If you want to use the entire screen for monitoring, you have to switch to a cropped 2.8K vertical mode, where the image quality clearly takes a hit, which is a pity. Also, once you activate the gimbal mode, you are limited to the main camera and can't switch to the ultra-wide or the telephoto lens. If you want to get a tighter shot, you are stuck with digital zoom for now, even there is actual hardware for telephotos, which is a drawback comparing to the dual camera gimbals like the Pocket 4P or the Luna Ultra. One more thing though, you can only use these virtual joystick and button to control the gimbal, therefore you can't really do non-linear gimbal moves, so the camera movement feels a little bit robotic. More importantly, the joystick placement is a bit too low. When you're holding it and trying to control the gimbal, the grip is not comfortable or secure. I do hope Honor would move up the monitoring frame to leave more room for the joystick and a better grip. I've even imagined building this gimbal into a foldable phone. That would make much better use of the larger screen area and allows more creative possibilities. But for now, I think the most comfortable way of using this gimbal camera is to hold it flat like this, with the lens pointing forward to get a waist-level shooting experience. It's quite nice. Can the RoboPhone shoot still photos? Absolutely. It got a triple camera setup and the sensor and the lens specs are on par with the mainstream phones. With dual 200 megapixel sensors, you can punch in on your photos and still see plenty of details. Though processing 200 megapixel photo doesn't take much time, occasionally it doesn't quite nail it, resulting in photo with subpar details, and it doesn't offer HDR mode or AI restoration functions. Plus, if you tweak the photo in the gallery, like adding a filter or adjust certain parameters, it automatically downsamples your 200 megapixel photo to a 12 megapixel shot. I honestly think this is one firmware fix away. It's pretty annoying right now if you adjust it. everything just falls apart. Another bit of frustration is the flare performance. The RoboPhone's camera show probably the most complicated flare we have ever seen. When shooting in slow mode and in gimbal mode, the lens flare are different. In our test, the slow mode resulted in visible flare across roughly 40 degrees angle. Filming in gimbal mode is more prone to flaring, which is visible in about 50-degree range. So if you want the cleanest flare performance, shooting in slow mode is your best bet, or you could stick a small tape around the gimbal that reduces the flare a little. So the RoboPhone has proven to be a much more complete product than we expected. It's certainly not a prototype by any means. However, its overheating performance does draw some concern. We filmed with RoboPhone in the gimbal mode and in slow mode, both with the screen at max brightness, recording 4K 30p in high bitrate APV codec using the main camera. Both phones dimmed their screen to different degrees, and the phone's gimbal mode overheated and stopped recording after 45 minutes with 83% battery left. The slow mode phone kept recording, though by that point both phones were very hot around the gimbal and the camera area. In real world use, I suggest shooting in short bursts rather than for long periods. Or you could attach the official cooling fan. Clearly they are aware of the issue, so it helps to mitigate it. Some of the sample clips we shot also suffer from occasional drop frames due to the heating, so I really hope Honor can improve their thermal management. That will make the RoboPhone a lot more usable. Despite its flaws, you can tell them overall very positive about this phone because it takes tremendous courage to actually mass produce such an innovative product. And Honor knows this won't sell in high volume, but they still launched it, and the phones industry is now much more lively because of those kind of unique phones. And there's some inside scoop. The RoboPhone is a precursor to Honor's next phone, the Magic 9, which will also harness ARRI's color pipeline. And that's where Honor will really flex its imaging muscles. Would you be interested in getting one of these? Personally, I might buy one because I think this phone is really one of a kind. So please share this with a friend if they are interested about those kind of phones, and give us a like and sub. We'll be sure to see you next time.